So the fifth Mishnah in the second chapter, which is right in the center of the chapter. So maybe this is the crux of the chapter. Maybe this is the crux of the chapter. The fifth Mishnah closes by saying that anything which is unique in the sense that it has marks and it has someone who claims it has to be announced. If you find something with marks and that has someone who's claiming it, you have to announce it. And the obvious question, if we're going to work through chronologically, and very often the Mishnah does like to work chronologically, and we'll see it does for the next few Mishnayot, next couple of Mishnayot. If we're going to work chronologically, we've got to ask, well, okay, if we got to announce it, for how long do we have to announce it? How long do we have to announce before we give up? And the Mishnah asks, for how long do you have to announce? And the first answer which we bring in the name of Rabbi Meir, ad kadesh yed'u shchenim, until the neighbors know about it. Divrei Rabbi Meir, until the neighbors know about it. And we'll see in a sec that we're going to circle the halacha. We'll circle back to Rabbi Meir and to this principle, but mainly the Gemara, we'll see, is interested in the second opinion in the Mishnah, which is Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Shlosha Regalem. Rabbi Yehuda says 3 festivals. So there are 3 pilgrimage festivals every year, 3 festivals on which everybody would go up to Jerusalem. So Rabbi Yehuda is going to say, look, you're going to have to announce this for 3 festivals. Whether this means for a full year, or whether this means at the 3 festivals, well, let's see in a minute. And a little bit more, v'achar haregel ha'acharon shivat yamin. And after the last festival, 7 days. 7 days. Kadesh yelech leveito shlosha v'yachzor shlosha v'yachriz yom echad. So someone has got 3 days to go home. So someone hears that an object's been found. He's got 3 days to go home and check whether that might be an object he's lost. 3 days, ve'achzor shlosha, 3 days to get back to Jerusalem, and then ve'achriz yom echad. He's got 1 day to go and proclaim. He seems like the loser will also proclaim. He'll go and proclaim, oh yeah, that's my object. That's Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah. And there's a fascinating, what I think anyway, is a fascinating little comment in the Gemara in the Bavli about actually how this used to work. Tanu Rabbanan, the Artages taught, Even to'in haita b'Yerushalayim. There was a claimant's stone in Jerusalem. This is a bit like a lost and found office. There was a place. It's called the claimant's stone. It's actually mentioned in the Mishnah in Ta'anit. We'll see in a sec. It's mentioned in the story of Choni, the circle drawer. Even to'in haita b'Yerushalayim. There was a claimant's stone in Jerusalem. Kol mi she'avda lo aveda nifne l'sham. Anyone who lost something would be directed there. B'chol mi she'motzeh aveda nifne l'sham. Anyone who found a lost item would be directed there. Ze omedu machriz. So one person would stand and proclaim. This must be during the festival. Everyone's in Jerusalem. Everyone's going around. Everyone's milling around. So there's someone standing up on this stone and announcing. Ze omed umachriz. One person standing up and announcing. V'ze omed. And the other person is standing. V'noten simana v'not la. And the other person stands up and provides the distinguishing marks. He's going to explain the distinguishing marks on the object he's lost to prove that it's his. And he's going to take it. And this is the place about which we taught in Tanit after the story of Choni, the circle maker who made rain fall. He said, go and see if the claimant's stone has been covered over, i.e., if we've got so much rain that so much rain that this stone is kind of covered in water. So that's apparently what used to happen in the time of the Beit Mikdash. And the Yerushalmi is going to bring us another view on this, because the Beit Mikdash didn't last. Tani, barishonah hayu machrizim shlosha regalim b'achar regel ha'aron shivat yamim. So in the beginning, they used to announce for 3 festivals and for 7 days after the last festival. So this is Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah. And the Yerushalmi just repeats the reasoning. 3 days to allow him to go home, 3 days to return, and 1 day to proclaim. This is Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah. Mi shecharav Beit HaMikdash, after the destruction of the temple, hitkinu sheyu machrizim shlosha yamim. After the destruction of the temple, they instituted that one has to announce for 3 days. Just 3 days. Whether it's 3 separate days or 3 days contiguously, we're not quite sure. And then, or do we remember Rabbi Meir in the Mishnah? Rabbi Meir says your neighbors have to know. So the Yerushalmi continues, min hasakana, after the danger. It seems as though there were kind of tyrants or oppressors or people that would persecute Jews who announce lost objects. Min hasakana ve'elach, after the danger. Hitkinu shehei modim likrovav leveli shchanav ve'dayo. After the danger, they instituted that someone has to inform his relatives and his neighbors, and this is enough. So really interesting. We brought Rabbi Meir in the Mishnah. We don't seem to rule like Rabbi Meir, but we've learned in the Gemara that minority opinions are preserved in the Mishnah. The Mishnah treasures a minority opinion because maybe it will be needed at some point in the future. And it seems as though the Yerushalmi is recording that they went back to Rabbi Meir when conditions changed. By the way, these 3 days seems rather short. And we've got another version of this saying in the Tosefta with 30 days. After the temple was destroyed, they instituted that someone should announce for 30 days. And that seems a bit more reasonable. Let's just go back. Before we close, let's just go back to the Bavli. And here in the Bavli, we have a really strong sense, not just that the temple has been destroyed, but we are in Galut, we're in Bavel. We're no longer, if you like, in the villages of the Galil, where people used to chat to their neighbors and their friends. We're in the Beit Midrash. So, Tanu Rabbanan, it was taught, as we've already learned. In the beginning, someone who found a lost object would announce for 3 festivals and for 7 days after the last festival to allow 3 days to go home, 3 days to return, 1 day to proclaim. So far, so good. Really, really familiar. Mi shecharav Beit HaMikdash, after the temple was destroyed, may it be rebuilt steadily, speedily in our days. May it be rebuilt. Hitkinu sheyehu machrizim b'vatei knasiot u'v'batei midrashot. They instituted that it should be announced, that people should announce in the shuls, in the synagogues, and in the study houses, in the batei midrashot. They announced it should be announced. They instituted that it should be announced in synagogues and in the halls of study. Misha rabu anasim, and when the oppressors proliferated, hitkinu sheyehu modi'in lishchenav ve'li muadav ve'dayo. They instituted that one should inform one's neighbors and one's acquaintances, and this is enough. If you inform your neighbors and your acquaintances, that seems to be enough.